Good evening, good morning, good afternoon from wherever you're watching. Welcome back to the 50th episode of Track Help. This is our weekly show where we interact with drivers on our academy from all over the world. And my word, it's already been 50 consecutive weeks of Track Help. A couple of announcements to make. Say a hi in the chat. Let us know where you're joining us from. And whilst you do that, let us know if you guys have Discord. Now, I know a lot of our viewers have been requesting, can you guys go onto Discord? Can there be a KTips Discord server? Well, you guys asked, we've listened, and we are working on that. Now, what we hope to do in the next week or so is actually convert over to Discord for a lot of our free community meetups. Phil, Raul, who are joining me live, do any of you guys have Discord?
Yes, I do.
Yes,
Okay.
also.
Superb. So what we're going to do is, the original idea with the school platform, which is where the academy is currently hosted, is where we have our level 1 go-kart training program and private coaching. That's going to remain as it is. So if yourself, those in the community, those watching on YouTube and Instagram want to take on any of those paid services, that's going to be remaining on the school platform. Now for Discord, we're not only going to have track help every week as normal, we're also going to start some weekly races. And those are going to be some online races on the Gran Turismo game, as we've informed you guys about. And that's going to be a karting race, a weekly race, where hopefully, once we build up the community, it's going to become a regular event, and you guys will also be able to participate for some prizes. So it doesn't get better than that. Phil, Raul, do you guys play Gran Turismo by any chance?
No, I don't, because I play on PC, so I can't get it.
Gotcha. Well, we're starting at the very, very basics. So if anyone has a PlayStation, if anyone has the Gran Turismo game, it's as easy as that. Get onto it, guys. So for today, we're going to just review a couple of bits of footage. We got Phil, who's joining us from Romania, Raul, who's joining us from Italy, and hopefully Julian, if he has any footage, perhaps he's going to join towards the end of today's session. Let's go ahead and actually bring up a bit of footage from Phil. Now, talk us through this indoor track that you've submitted, actually.
Yeah, so hello, everyone. As you very well remembered, there was another driver who had this. So I looked over those live reviews, very, very nice insights.
You found them?
Yeah, I found them.
Amazing.
I think for the ones who are interested, I think it's either 15th or 16th live. Yeah.
Yes, very early on.
Mm-hmm. So this is an indoor track, usually takes 36 to 40 seconds per lap. And there is a couple of modifications to the official track layout. As you saw, I added a couple of paint markers just to make sure everything is up to date. So what's interesting is that the first sector is a very technical sector.
Mm-hmm.
And second and the third ones are really more like, as you mentioned, you need guts to go through this chicane. So this is already in the second sector.
Yep.
After here, you just go ahead, and based on the session that you have, there are 3 sessions. There's a junior with a very limited speed. There's the second one, which is an adult, which has 6 seconds of boost at your disposal. And then there's the third session, which is called VMAX, and you basically have the boost equivalent for the entire lap. Now, everything that I have recorded is for adults. So we basically have 3 sectors usually, and then you have 6 seconds of boost. Now, inside of the YouTube link, I did add some timestamps, precisely so you can go to different logs and so on. Yeah, basically, I also added like an analysis part where we
we're going to take you through that.
Yeah, where I put like 4 different parts on the entire screen, right? But yeah,
sorry to cut in that. How long have you been going to this track for?
So I'm quite new to karting in itself
Yeah.
and everything. Right? So just in my account on VMAX, I see that I only have 116 kilometers. Right. So
Not bad.
so very beginner. But I do say that I got some pretty nice times, and that's mostly because of you and your channel. I watched you. I watched all the recommendations. Not
I
not all of them,
appreciate
but like most of the recommendations, and that definitely helped a lot. So I went karting, I think, in 2022 or 2023, so for
that.
two
Right.
times, and then this year I just started again. So basically, I went two times, and then this year it was like a hyper, uh, um, like an obsession mode, but it's
Hmm.
quite something I like, right? So this year was the majority of those 116 kilometers.
And are you going every week or every couple of weeks? What's the schedule
Um,
looking like?
If I can, I would go every week if I have the budget for it. But if
Yep.
not, I'm going every 2 weeks and so on.
No, that's excellent. So the thing is, you've tried karting out this year. You're taking it more seriously. You've obviously got your own camera now. Which mount is it? It's a chin mount, right? From what I can
It's a
tell.
chin mount. I had an iPhone strapped to it, but I
Okay.
this
Yep.
this week my GoPro just arrived, so I'll have better footage and yeah, better to analyze.
Honestly, this iPhone footage looks decent. I mean, the stabilization, okay, it's not going to be as per GoPro, but very, very clear. And of course, when we put the slow mos on, I think we'll be able to see
I
a lot
think you
better
can
than these.
increase
Yeah,
the quality on YouTube.
yeah. I believe. Well,
You're at max. Okay, okay.
I think currently it's 1080. That's not to worry about. So basically, you're getting into a routine now. You're practicing regularly. You're recording your footage. These are all the important steps if you want to speed up your improvement process and
Mhm.
learning the track and in terms of timings and all. What you should aim to do now is take it step by step. So it's um it's good that you've identified certain things that you're doing well, certain things that you want to try to improve on at this track, and because you're going regularly at the track, you have time to implement these things step by step. The reason you don't want to overwhelm yourself, okay, do this for turn one, do this for turn two, three, four, you'll end up forgetting the next time you go to the track. So have a general idea, yes, but then in terms of implementing, do it sort of one at a time. And obviously the more sessions you do, the quicker you can implement those things, yeah, from session to session.
Mhm.
So just going back to your post which you put on the academy, what specifically did you need help with today that we're going to cover?
I think the first sector definitely. The first sector is starting from. I don't think we have a notation on the Google Meet, do we? I don't think so. So the first,
Yeah, I'll try and make out what you're basically going for. And it's
yeah,
sector one. It starts from
exactly. Right around X. So right around X is the start of the first sector.
gotcha.
Yeah,
This way.
exactly. And so the first turn, I think, is it's like a double right-hander because
Yep.
or it's a hairpin. It's a hairpin, right? But it's like a wider hairpin, and then it goes into a double left-hander, into a double right-hander, whatever it's called.
Hmm.
I'm not familiar with the term, so sorry for those professional
No,
ones.
no, no, absolutely not.
So in here is what I find the most lack in my time, even though
Okay.
I'm using boost on the main straight.
I'm
So
gonna go
if I,
to. Can I go to your best lap perhaps, and
yes.
perhaps review sector one? Do you recommend
Mhm.
going to the full race and then finding different timestamps from there?
Yeah, yeah, that would be the ideal part.
Let's just bring that up over here. So basically, let's pick out.
I think it's lap 8.
Yeah, that's the one.
Hmm.
And I
So
want
this
to
is
put this in slow mo. You can just talk me through it.
okay. So this is like a boost. Some things which I've noticed I'm not using the entire length. I think you stop the share.
Sorry.
Yeah, no worries.
There we go. Okay.
So
Coming
what
out the
I've
last
noticed
one.
is I'm not using the entire width of the track, right? I'm not
Hmm.
going exactly to the left. And right here, what I notice is that I dive. Probably I shouldn't dive the hairpin.
Okay.
So this is maybe something that I need to consider. But I found that this is the best time. And right here,
Yeah.
I'm accelerating almost full throttle, but I slightly lift my throttle just to make sure I'm not juddering or making sure that I'm hitting the apexes.
Yep.
And this one has like a weird angle. So it's not like a
Yeah.
90 angle, 90 angle. This angle is like more of a, I have to turn more,
Hmm.
or maybe it's just my impression, right? The fact that it's, I'm not sure how to explain it. So this angle is not 90, it's a bit more than 90.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You
So
know, just looking back at this footage, it reminds me of how difficult this track is. Obviously, I haven't driven there, but based on Andre's footage, which I was reviewing many months back, and now looking back at yours, it really is a technical right, left, right, and it's very easy to lose time at different spots at this sector. The key out of all this is, how can we be fast coming out this final right onto this short straight?
okay.
Essentially, setting our lineup so we can have the best possible exit out of this corner. So then the preparation, as you know, starts all the way from the first corner. Let's just go through it, I guess, frame by frame. Turn one, is there a specific braking point or marker that you're trying to use? I
Yeah, on the
assume you're
right.
braking.
Hmm. On
Are
the right
you?
hand
Yeah,
side, what I'm looking is at the third beam from the, yeah, that one, exactly that one,
awesome. Just
that
over
beam.
here.
Hmm. But what I've seen is that instead of uh, uh, going towards the left hand side and then braking and then try to do a very rough to the right,
Yep.
I'm diving towards the apex, which in hindsight, I don't think it's that good. So I'm going to try to go a bit more into the corner and then
Hmm.
try to have like a better exit, as you said, for the first turn.
Yeah. Uh, the main thing in terms of your approach for turn one, let's decide on what type of apex we're going to go for. So, for example, you have a nice indication here, the red and white paint of what the apex is. So all the way here, this is what we'll call the early apex, right?
Hmm.
Even this part we're going to class as early. Once we come towards the middle, that's obviously our middle apex. And then as the corner winds to the right towards the end, somewhere over here, this is where we have the late apex. So
Okay.
what we want to try to do is understand on exit of the corner, where do we want to end up? Do we want to end up on the left, middle, or right? What would you try to target? Where do you want to exit?
So I'd like to exit on the late apex, definitely.
Yeah.
So not
So we
what I did
open
here.
up, right? So
Yeah.
we can end up more on the right hand track. So
Hmm.
simply to take a late apex for the first corner, I would encourage a slightly later turn in. So as you mentioned, you're sort of diving into the apex quickly. That's good if you're defending. Also, if you want to try an alternative line, simply go for just a slightly later turn in. How
Okay.
is the turn in done for you? Is it just after you're braking? Is it instinctive? Do you think about when you turn in? How do you sort of?
I'm not thinking about it actively.
Yeah,
Probably I should. What I'm always looking for is not to turn very harsh and brake at the same time, not to spin out.
yeah.
But essentially, I want to brake in a straight line.
Hmm.
I think that was the idea why I direct myself towards the middle, right? To brake towards the straight line, not brake with turning.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's my idea behind, I think.
Absolutely, and it's a good idea you've got going. I'd say the only thing to change now is use a bit more of the track on this
Okay.
left-hand side, so we can go for a slightly later turn in. Later turn in will then allow us to take a later apex. So instead of hitting the apex, for example, early as we're doing here, we're going to try to get the mid to latter part, which is on this side. As we said, that's going to set us up to take a wider entry for the left. Now, you said this part, it's a bit of a lift, or is it flat? How is it currently with this line you're taking?
90 to 100%. So it really depends on what lap I'm in. So if it's like at the beginning, right now it's like -2 degrees Celsius outside, maybe five
Yeah.
degrees.
Wow.
So the tires are very cold. From what I've understood, that matters a lot. And so at the first laps, it's just going to be trying to get more temperature in them. So even if I'm like spinning a lot, it's not spinning, sorry. um, uh, Drifting, maybe, in
Yeah.
off laps, it's going to be what I do. But in the main laps, i'm I'm trying to get less less speed because it's not going to work for me to turn. If I have more grip, it's much more easy to turn.
Well, I think just taking a slightly wider line for this corner,
Okay.
then you'll be able to perhaps go for 100% on the accelerator through here. Now, the key is our turn-in, go for a sharp turn-in. You see, on a tight corner like this, it's easy to scrub the tires, slide a bit. So once we can have a firm turn-in and keep that sort of steering angle, similar to what you're doing over here, you should be able to take this corner smoothly, bearing in mind you have that wide entry. In terms of the apex that we want to prioritize over here, I'd split this into two parts. So you have the early part, and then you have the latter part over here. You see, we want to switch the thinking now because it's almost the opposite corner. So we've just completed a right-hand corner, and now we're going into a left-hand corner. In terms of the exit of this left-hand corner, ideally, where would you want to be placed on entry? Would you want to be tight on the right, middle, or slightly to the left?
Slightly to the left, just because I want a harder exit, as you said, faster exit.
Yeah, you can try that out because at the moment, I'd say you're going middle. I'd say you're in the middle, slightly to the right. What you could try is, once again, in hindsight, if we take later apex, end up on the right-hand side of the track over here. Then from the outside, cut to the left. Now, we don't want to prioritize the first apex too much. We can get close.
Should I just maybe go on the middle for the first apex?
Yeah, try that.
Okay.
You can even use this paint on the track as a reference. So you don't want to be outside of that paint, but you don't want to be hugging the left too much. The main part you do want to focus on is getting as close as possible to this left. And then, as we said,
I was a bit close here. I was a bit early, I think, here.
Yeah, so all it is, that it's a trend that's continuing in terms of turn-ins. Just delay that turn-in slightly.
Okay.
All that'll allow you to do is have slightly wider entry for the right. Now here, is this completely flat to the right, or is there another lift or brake involved?
Just a bit of lift if I feel like I'm going to be too wide. So
Gotcha.
I think it's like a snowball of bad things I'm doing, which makes me inconsistent.
No, don't worry too much about that. The main thing is we've identified something that you could try, which will hopefully make your life a bit easier over here. Two things to note now. Number one is the turn-in. Make sure it's just done later for each corner. So I'd say you've been for turn 1, turn 2, and then the turn 3. I'm referring this as the hairpins, right?
Understood.
Then I think it's ultimately very, very important we go for a sharp turn-in over here. So the idea is, by taking a wider entry, we have more space to corner, more time to control the kart. And if you can combine this with a sharp turn-in, with a fixed amount of steering input, that will allow you to scrub a bit of speed off the kart, right? So it could help you take this flat out. How about leaning? Are you leaning at all?
I've seen your videos, very, very helpful. When I lean, I completely see a difference. When I don't lean, it's like because I'm too focused on anything else. So I say, oh, I have to lean. So I'm definitely leaning with the gravity. So as much as I can, leaning to improve my grip.
I'd keep that up. I'd combine that with that sharp turn-in, and then get close to, I'd say, the middle of the track over here, mid, perhaps even late, and then you'll be able to get back out wide to the exit again. Sector 1, as we've discussed then, is all about turn 1. Master turn 1, make sure going for a slightly later turn-in, end up on the right-hand side of the track, widens up turn 2. Turn 2, don't prioritize the early apex, prioritize the later apex. Once again, so slightly later turn-in. And then for turn 3, make sure we end up slightly to the left over here. So we have time, control, space to go for a sharp turn-in. Combine that with a lean out as you're doing. And it should be able to take it just about flat out. Now, you want to build up to that point. So of course, we said turn 1 is where you do your braking. And on the ideal line, ideal track, grip, and conditions, everything after turn 1 should be flat out. If you're struggling to do that, step by step. So perhaps we try to remove the lift for turn 2, and then we keep on lifting for turn 3, and then eventually remove the lift for turn 2 and for turn 3. See how that goes.
Okay, yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah.
Any other things you want to discuss before we move on to the next driver?
The chicane, maybe
Yeah.
that would be. So, and I think it goes very easy into the next turns, because there's like a very hard turn to the right before the going up, and then for that, I know you discussed with Andre a bit that should go a bit into dive. The before one, the before turn.
Oh, sorry, I'm
yeah.
looking at the wrong one. Chicane
Not
meaning...
necessarily that. Yeah, the chicane being the green one,
Okay.
and just before that would be the left one, the double left-hander.
Yeah, over here.
Yeah,
these two.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Let's actually go to the hot lap with that. Basically, on this bit of footage.
What I have here is that I am using my boost to go down, and right now what I'm doing is I'm taking middle apex for both. That's what I'm aiming, and I know you said that I could delay my turn in so I can get a better exit out of the next one. And I'm thinking to have my boost whenever I'm at the middle, like to make like a V-shaped. Not sure if that's going to help.
I want to bring in a guy who's our indoor expert, and I'm sure you've been listening attentively, Guy. Now, Guy, of course, you've got a lot of experience in these indoor Sodi electric karts. What's your advice on boost?
Never boost down a ramp. It's pointless. These Sodi karts, if they're ramped the same as I work for Team Sport, which is the biggest indoor electric company in the UK, and if these are ramped similar to our ones, they get up to top speed incredibly quickly and they just cap off.
Okay.
So I would always boost up a ramp or on a flat straight.
Okay.
So probably I would actually, because is this turn coming up here, this left hand you say you have to delay, is that taken flat?
Yeah, definitely.
You want to boost up that ramp. That's going to be the best place to boost from what I've seen. Because you can carry the speed through here and then back down the ramp. And if you've already achieved that high speed, you won't need to boost down the ramp then.
Okay.
So it will carry you up the ramp as long as it is what's the word to say? Easily flat. That'll be perfect for you, because as I said, these Sodi karts, they reach the top speed very quickly and they just cap off. Sorry, Omar. Sorry to interrupt.
No, Raul, you've got a question or some input to add?
Meanwhile, here in Europe, let's say, or here in Italy, we use the boost in corner exits. Mostly corner exits, or while you're in a ramp. It depends. While I'm doing an hot lap in rental indoors, electric ones, I use the boost on exits while doing a hot lap. Meanwhile, while I'm racing, tell me.
Are you after the middle apex? You're boosting directly, or you want to be straight?
You mean in this type of double left?
For example, generic.
For example, I would use the boost in the middle part, like not here, but from here on.
Okay. Very nice.
Also, I'll take a wider entry, and then I'll how can I say it? I'll tighten it up for the second left.
Okay, so delay the first
turn
and get the second apex more close.
Yes.
I think definitely the best way to figure this out is you just to modulate, which maybe for half the session doing it my way up the ramp, half the session doing it the other guy's way up on the corner entry, and then do another one with your way down the ramp. It's the best way to find out is just to kind of experiment, and then also to also have if you have a camera, which I believe you do, to rewatch it back and just see what you think looks fastest. But this track looks really fun. I'm not gonna lie. Where is this?
Cluj, Romania.
I need to go to Romania.
Yeah, you
Omar,
do.
next tour, Romanian tour, yeah.
Look at that. If you remember, Andre was actually on from a while back at the same track. I don't know if you were on that session. I think it's a good point that it's a good point that Guy and Raul have made about boosting at the exits of the corners. That's something worth trying. And it's definitely one thing I want you to go for in the next practice. Just rounding off for.
Thank you. I think that's it. I don't want to take more time.
Yeah, let's just round off the points that we made. Really try and focus on sector 1, as we said. Slightly later turn-ins, going for later apexes, and eventually trying to go for flat out, basically turn 1 onwards. Implement sharp initial turn-ins, combine that with leaning out, fixed steering input, and I reckon you could see some improvements through that. When's the next time you're going to go to the track?
It's going to be next week, I think, most likely. Yeah. So
next week. Well,
some analysis done on things that you said. Yeah.
We look forward to that, and we look forward to seeing some GoPro footage, hopefully, from that session.
Yeah, hopefully, yes.
We're going to take a quick break to go over a few questions and a few announcements. We've had Marcel in the chat. He's saying hi. We're missing you, Marcel, over here. And I understand that he's watching from home. And just to recap with people who missed the early part of the session, you guys have all been asking about Discord. So we have been working on a Discord server now. That's hopefully going to be going live by next week. By that, I mean by tomorrow, and then next week's track help is going to be,
I hope so,
on there. Thanks to Guy, who's actually given me the motivation to go for that. He said, "Look, there's loads of people who ask for a KTips Discord, so you got to do it. The demand is there. You see, guys, on the KTips Discord, we're going to have a lot of free things there for you, and we're also going to be running the weekly Gran Turismo online karting races. Once we build up that community, there's going to be some prizes to win in that race. So get a PlayStation, grab a copy of Gran Turismo 7. You'll be able to join the weekly races. In terms of the academy, which is what you guys are currently joining on, that's going to remain for, of course, our level 1 training program and for private coaching. We're going to go on to Raul. His footage. Before that, let's get...
Sorry to interrupt, Omar.
Absolutely, go for it.
I presume it's on purpose, but there he is.
And we've got Omar Slim. Welcome back, Omar Slim.
He's been ringing me saying, "Let me in." I'm like, "No, not gonna happen."
Guys, this all
you
happens
two
to
have...
you. But remember, no beef, no beef.
Yeah, no.
Omar and Guy have history. You guys 1v1 at the Lucille track, but we got to see it at Acton.
We keep it professional here, Omar. It's not.
We keep it fresh. I've already warned Omar on the private chat. I've got to warn Guy in public. Otherwise, somebody's going to get kicked out.
I missed you, Guy.
That's not professional, buddy. I missed you too, but still. Keep professional, okay? We're trying to chill.
We're going
professional than your setup.
We're going to go through Raul's footage, and then I'm going to round off with you. If you can prepare the link.
I have some footage of me battling.
Perfect. If you can upload that to YouTube, we get time towards the end of the session. We're going
battling. That's what battling.
Go through it. All right.
Battling.
Raul, am I on the right link?
Yeah. Those
because there's a number of clips that you put over here. I just want to make sure that we're on the right one.
Yeah. I mean, there's no particular order. Those are 3 different sessions.
Gotcha.
The first one you picked is from a day of test, let's say, which was this video, and the other one named S2. So the first one, as you can see, has a quite understeery kart.
Okay.
The tires were new. I knew the tires that were new were only the front ones, looks like. Before this clip, they had 30 minutes of use, and I felt they were terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can see on the last turn, I lock up while full lock, and they stay full lock.
Yeah.
It's
This
quite
left-hand
embarrassing.
turn we've just gone
Yes.
through. Yeah. I think we'll just give the viewers a bit of context because it's a very unique rental car track you go to, where they use race
Oh,
car
wait.
tires, right?
No, not anymore.
Oh, not anymore. Okay.
Those are, if I remember correctly, Mecha ones on the front and the Comet tires on the back.
Amazing.
Before they used the how do you call them? The Mojo tires on the front and the Comet on the back.
It's not every day you go to a track and they allow you to mix and match tires.
Raura uses race tires, and they still use race tires.
Do they mix the fronts and backs with
No,
different
they're
ones?
just all race tires. They're amazing. They're so quick.
Yeah, they are.
Can I ask, are these Sony SR4s? SR5s?
Yes, those are SR4s, 390 cc's.
Those are going to be beautiful on the race tires. They're like lakeside on some substances we can't name. Carry on, Omar.
Carry on, Raul. This is an understeery kart in session 1.
Yeah, this is an understeering kart, and for me it was a pressure problem for me. On the second session, it's quite the opposite. The kart can't be straight, let's say, the corner exits. Like, it was so hard to put down the gas while also trying to drive with neutral steer.
See, understeery karts, I mean, in my experience when I get them, it's really the worst kart to drive. Because it's, for me, it's the opposite to my style. I love it to be a bit more oversteery and, as you said, always going for that neutral steer. I try to do the basics, like, putting the seat forward, and then my turn in as well. I try to do a bit earlier than normal and a bit more aggressive, but I just feel I'm nowhere more near consistent like that. Sometimes it'll be too much. Sometimes it's not enough. I mean, what did you try in this scenario?
This scenario, I tried first driving like normal, like heading for that neutral steer by locking the rears a bit and retarding the turning point where I could. In this turn, I overshot it a bit.
Yep.
Meanwhile, all the turns I tried to drive like I was used to.
Gotcha. And it's important you do these sessions at different karts, because in the championship it's like this by luck. Which kart you get? It's a kart draw.
This one was just a free practice session that was 2 hours long, and we used a kart in the first session, and then in the second session I swapped kart with another my team, because I used 2 teams for this session, and we swapped cars, but also the mechanic changed the pressures for the front tires, so they could have been better. He said that in this session the tires got overinflated quite fast for the high pressure, I think. Then he lowered them, saying that on the second session could have been the opposite.
Gotcha. Let's go to the second session, unless you've got anything else to add for this one.
No, I don't have anything else to add, because I don't really know what I could have done. Also, they changed let's say, the setup again, so the karts drive like normal again. You can see it in the last clip.
Anything to add, Guy, before we go on to session 2?
If I may, I think when it comes down to understeery karts, what you just did for the very first corner of this new kit was right. Giving it a bit more aggression into corners to kind of induce the rotations. But if you can get the rotation early, whilst you're under brake load and all that, it will make the corner easier. But it is, as Omar said, it is just about, it is just about getting kind of damage control when you have an understeery kart, especially in championships. You've got damage control, but I think there are certain ways you can actually go ahead and not neutralize, but limits how much it affects your driving. And this is the one time I'm going to say this. Cameron Das has a good video, a good short on how to deal with understeer. Would you agree with that? Have you seen it, Omar? Or is at Reading?
No. What's it called?
Something along the lines of how to deal with an understeery car. So I have a good video on it as well.
You can just search for that. I'm sure his video will come up. Be interesting to see what his
exactly.
feedback is
just about kind of flicking it a little bit more, braking for rotation. I don't know if that really. I haven't driven much outdoors. I've got about 300 race outdoors, so nowhere near as many as indoors. I don't know if does braking for rotation work in rental cars outdoors? I mean, that's an entire new thing to think about. But,
absolutely.
Yeah, it works a lot.
So then, possibly for that hairpin, wide entry, braking for that rotation, get the car rotated in, and then achieve that neutral steer. Just thoughts, and I mean, you need to come to this track to know what the precise stuff about it is. Where is this track? I'm thinking about. I'm going to do a Europe trip very soon. Where is this? If you don't mind me asking.
Rome.
This looks actually like a class track. I might come here, you know. Omar, Romania and Europe trip. Let's go.
You're adding to the list already, huh? Well, it looks like the kart in session. No worries. It looks like the kart in session is the opposite. It's quite oversteery, actually. But did you preferred this one, or what was your feedback on it?
No, my feedback was I couldn't find the balance between the two sessions. Like the first one was too understeery, and the second one was too oversteery. You can see in this corner, the corner after the straight, that they can't put the gas down because he just. No, not this one, but maybe the last one. Last one is a better example. I can't put the gas down before the apex because the car is all over the place.
Yeah. So you go for the brakes, mid corner. There's a lot of oversteer and jumping, and then at the end you have to go for it. What did you have good top speed? You felt this car?
I haven't saw the GPS data, but I think that was normal. My other teammate said that for him the car was too good that you couldn't put out the gas for that. I don't think that was the problem, but I guess could be. Now I'm waiting for another of my teammates.
It's always nice to have a reference, right, with them.
But those are other two quick people. I'm trying to keep up with them to see if I am the problem or the car is the problem or whatever.
So what is this that's happening? It's a couple of times happening in this corner. The car just goes away from you, or there's a moment you're not able to control
this corner, what you should do is you should brake normally.
Yeah.
Then let the bumps lock up the rears. Because there are a lot of bumps in this turn.
Yeah.
But when it does, also you are full lock because you're trying to steer.
Yeah.
Also, it's a bit how can I say it? It's an off-camber turn.
Correct.
So the apex is raised from the other part of for the other part of the turn. So it's a bit of a hill. I can say that.
Yep, and it's tricky to take consistently.
Also, the oversteer starts from the exit of turn 1 all the way from the entry of turn 3, as you can see.
So basically,
this is turn 1.
There you go. 2. And then into 3, which is going to be coming up over here.
No, turn 10 was the right-hander.
Okay, it went so quick, I missed it out. Overall, though, in this session, you're satisfied, though? More than the understeery car?
No, that's why I did another session alone some days after, which was the third video. Yeah. So
and
you
this
can
was
see
that
like
slightly different time of day, you can say? I'm going to just share
yes, because the first 2 videos we saw was maybe 10 a.m. of Saturday, and the last video you're going to see now, where I just spun, this was
out loud, don't worry.
This was more in the evening, was 6 p.m. On Wednesday.
Was it very cold? I mean, I can't tell.
Not much. It was maybe 14 degrees Celsius.
Okay. Yep.
In the first two clips, maybe it was 12, 13, something like that. But the difference is that here I am the only one doing laps alone. Meanwhile, in the other two videos, there were like 11 carts.
Now, this is obviously a session on the back of two disappointing ones, you can say, in terms of the carts. Did you manage to put it all together for this one, though?
Yes, I did also, because this was a
Yeah.
bit of a preparation for the races I had to do Saturday, which turned out to be a bit useless because it could have rained. But yeah, I tried to adapt myself a little bit more with the session.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'll be honest with this exact footage. Clear track, and the driving style is almost perfect. You can see the in between. So session one we had the understeery kart. Session two we had the oversteery kart. Now here, just by looking at your hand movements and how the kart is reacting, it's almost perfect.
Yeah, it was a lovely balance for me.
So in that championship then that you're obviously practicing for, it's
Yeah.
a random kart draw.
Yeah.
And I know the organizers always say we're just going to try and make the kart as equal as possible. Is that obviously why you're practicing in so many different karts, just to be ready for any opportunity?
No, I'm just practicing to just be better at every session. I don't have a precise aim for every session. I just try to do the to set the lap time.
Yeah.
On a consistent line, let's say.
And get the most out of the kart.
Yeah, get the most of the kart with the conditions I have.
And I think it's some good advice you're giving there, especially for drivers who hit that level where, they're more advanced now. They're aware of the lines. They have formed their own driving style. What can they do beyond that? Well, similar to what Raul's doing over here, try and take as many different karts as possible. And then, it's your objective to drive as fast as you can. It's easy to get into the habit that, it's a bad kart, that's why I'm slower. Actually, believe it or not, as one of my coaches, he used to say, no, when you get to that level, you got to now just take, it was Coach Rami. Remember, he always used to say, you got to take the slowest kart and do the best you can and try and win from that. And it's like,
because once you're the best with the worst, you're the best with anything.
Absolutely. And that then challenges you even more. So in training, that's a nice mindset to have. Any closing thoughts and any other questions you had, Raul, before we move on to the next driver?
Maybe your thoughts on what on how could I wait a second.
No, take it straight.
So on how I can get a better lap time with this with these conditions.
The one we're watching now?
Yeah.
I think it will help if there's other drivers on track. Could lay some rubber down, but no, more than anything on tracks like this, try to get into that we call it a flow state. So you do your first couple of out laps, and then once you get warmed up, you get into this groove where you're hitting consistent laps, and then you want to slowly within those laps push things a bit further than you normally do. So you probably know you have a conservative driving style, a consistent driving style where you're going to hit a certain lap time. It might not be very fast, not too slow, and then you have your sort of qualifying pace where you take that risk. What you do when you take that risk, you might brake a bit later, you might brake a bit harder, you might try to take a bit more speed into some corners. You've got to be strategic of which corners you choose to do that. So you don't want to do that every corner of every lap because it's very easy to make a mistake. But some corners where you feel you're quite comfortable, go and do that extra bit. Now, it can work two ways. You can either overdrive and it loses you time, and you obviously have the live telemetry there, which will tell you, or it can work in your favor where it'll get you half a tenth or a tenth. And it's a big lap. I mean, how many seconds? About 40 seconds, right? Or 39?
Yes.
Yeah. So you got plenty of corners to test that out. Some corners is just not going to work out. Like you're going to push 3, 4, 5 times, and you're like, well, there's no point, braking later there or trying to get on the gas too early there. Just keep it as is. There's other corners where you'll be like, no, there's in this specific kart on these conditions in this moment, I can, maybe take a bit more speed. So that's always a nice one. The thing is, you've got about 15 minutes, right, per session.
Yeah.
So it's plenty of time to do that. Warm up within 3 laps, and then just go for that.
Okay, thank you.
It's always a pleasure, Raul. It's nice to discuss multiple sessions and obviously how you've improved across that. We're going to take a comment from Lucas Peter on Instagram. Any tips for KZ? Now, KZ, I've never done. So I'm going to open it up to anyone else who may have feedback.
Hey.
Or
You want my tip? Because I'm going to drive KZ.
Go for Omar, then we'll take Raul.
Okay, my tip. What tip, like, in general? Or, like, what do you mean?
He just asked any tips for KZ. Yeah, general.
All right.
KZ karting,
So KZ, man, you got to utilize shifting, man. Sometimes even more than braking. Actually, no, way more than braking.
What the hell?
Man, I drive shifter, you drive rentals. Don't be talking. But we have to be
Did I
responsible.
say anything? Did I
We have to
say
be responsible.
anything?
I mean,
Oh,
this
you're driving.
give you
Yeah,
some
I know that,
perspective. One of the most amazing KZ videos on YouTube.
Look at how they're
another level.
utilizing shifting. And look at how they're downshifting.
Unbelievable. And he's doing overtakes and wow.
Just saying, I'm going to drive that track.
Also, Italian driver.
You must know him or you must know the track, right? Or...
Yeah, should be Davide Cugini on Lonato.
Raul, do you have any friends or have you done any KZ before?
Yes, I did 2 sessions on the KZ.
You did? Well, perfect.
Yeah, the first one was a bit traumatic because I spawned one time at between turn 1 and turn 2. If you want, you can grab the footage if you want to, but you're not forced to. So I spawned between turn 1 and 2, 3. I was maybe 2 meters away from the barriers because I was braking while turning, which in case of cars is for me is a bit of a killer. Also to a fast turn.
Yeah, and before that, you obviously did rentals and you did some other direct drive owner carts, right? Like Rotax Senior, maybe.
I tried a sort of a 3-stroke engine.
3-stroke.
Because because it's too slow to be a 2-stroke engine, but it's too fast to be a 4-stroke engine. They were terrible. But,
it's basically the RD1 and the same.
Huh?
Did you have like a rental car chassis but race kart engine?
No, it was let's say a bit of a hybrid. So it was a heavy race chassis for me.
This might sound like a weird thing to say, but as someone who's gone from driving rentals my entire life to doing 1 session in Omar's Rotax, I think the best thing I can give is just build up to it. Don't go and push as soon as you get. And I don't know if you guys do this, but don't go and push as soon as you get into this KZ, because it will probably blow your face off. Build confidence. Would you agree with that, guys? I don't know.
My tip because I race shifter now. My tip: know when to shift. That's
a good point. Yeah.
Know when to shift. As I said, it's more important than your braking. Because for us, you can shift at the very bottom of turn 1. You're gonna lose at least 4 tenths, 5 tenths. Not 5, maybe 4, 3.5 tenths. Just get footage from another KZ, and once you see where they're shifting, it's perfect. You're gonna know when to, especially downshifting. You're gonna know when to downshift. Upshifting is common sense, but it's always knowing when to downshift and how the braking is, because it's not like a regular senior. It has 3 brakes, 2 front, 1 rear, and everyone has their own setup, so don't expect anything from it.
Yeah. I think that's a solid point there. I mean, Raul, in your experience, how physical was it?
Was killer for me. The
your shoulders.
Vendome type.
GWI, Lucille.
What? No, that's not what I was saying. I was saying Vendome type.
You remember
Physicality.
Lucille?
Yeah.
You remember
Bro,
Lucille?
shit, Omar, stop thinking everything I say is like a dig, bro.
Lucille.
I think that answers Lucas' question quite in depth. We're gonna get ready to round off for today's session now. Omar, did you get your footage ready? Or
Yeah. It's on YouTube. OS. Karting. No
Let us
spaces.
know.
Omar,
Send a link over here.
why can I just see your forehead, bro? It's like this.
Where's the link?
I don't have a link. Just go on YouTube. OS.karting.
Bro, you can't be making Omar do the work, bro. Give him the link, man. Give him the link.
Link is easy. Come on, os.karting.
You're gonna love this video.
Omar, bro, lower your camera. I don't want to see your massive
afraid
forehead.
there's
Bro.
no,
That's better. Well done. Good boy. What?
Good boy.
What the?
You're calling a 14-year-old a good
I'm
boy.
afraid you don't have any footage there. So if we can't
Keep it
find it, we're gonna have to
professional.
round off for
Guys,
today's session.
keep
Yeah.
it professional. Keep professional.
Yeah, keep
Sorry.
it professional.
If you
I'll send it to you
can't
on
find the
WhatsApp.
link, we're not gonna be able to go through it.
Yeah, WhatsApp. There you go. Sent.
Omar
In the
needs to go to
meantime,
bed,
Harry,
man.
what's up,
Let him
Harry?
go to bed.
I
Harry, have you? I know you joined about 20 minutes ago. Did you manage to get any footage in?
No, I only got mine yesterday and I can upload it.
Gotcha. And where was that from?
Buckmore.
Well, I saw Benjamin Hamilton's footage from a lap. I don't know if that was the same heat as you or something.
That was earlier in the morning where it was a lot of wet. It was dry for me.
Oh, it was a different time that you went on.
Yeah. Also, he was in the super lightweight at the start, and then the lightweights go in the second half of the day.
Gotcha.
Harry, who was faster, you or Benjamin Guy Hamilton?
I think Benji, but I'm also like 35 kilos heavier.
Yeah,
so.
seems like a skill issue on your behalf, buddy.
Well, we're gonna round off for today's session. We're gonna go for an announcement, guys. Once again, Discord. Who is on Discord? Let us know in the comments. Anyone on the chat over or on the meet? Who's on Discord? I know I asked Raul and Phil already.
Harry.
Hello.
Harry's got Discord.
But where is the Discord? I haven't seen it.
Discord is going to be dropping soon. Now, this is going to be where you'll get access to a lot of free resources, and more importantly, we're going to have the weekly online karting races. Now, we're going to be starting that from next week, every Saturday afternoon. And once we build up the community, we're going to start adding some prizes into those races. So, online karting every week. Win some prizes. Can't get better than that, can you? Until the next episode of Track Help, everybody, we will see you all then.
Wait. How about my